Welcome to the Nottingham City Design Quality Framework. Innovation in championing design quality and supporting expedient planning. Nottingham City. Ambitious, skillful, collaborative, thorough in pursuing design quality. Please take 2 minutes to watch this short video and learn all about, firstly, what the Design Quality Framework is. Secondly, how to apply the Design Quality Framework to your scheme. And thirdly, how the City Council appraises design quality. Firstly, what is the Design Quality Framework? The Design Quality Framework is a series of supplementary planning documents adopted as part of the local plan. This is contained within the National Planning Policy Framework. Within this, every local authority has a local plan. And within Nottingham City Council's local plan sits Nottingham's Urban Design Guide. And within the Urban Design Guide sits the Design Quality Framework. The Design Quality Framework is made by an overview document and a series of topic-specific design guides. The Design Quality Framework Overview document. A Housing Design Guide. A Street Design Guide. A Householder's Design Guide. A Facades Design Guide. A Community Engagement Guide. A Wellbeing Design Guide. And other design guides are still being produced. Each design guide has a set of minimum design criteria. You will find this criteria within the index page. There are key concept criteria, key place criteria, and thirdly, key building criteria. Within the summary page of the key building criteria, you will learn, for example, about the requirements in terms of proportions, geometry and mass treatment, the palette and textures, key details, technical quality and layout. Within one aspect of the key building criteria, for example 3.1, technical quality, this is a criteria page and the design criteria will be broken down into further detail. Each guide has planning submission requirements for each stage of the design process. For example here, the housing design process. And this is broken down into concept design, developed design and detailed design. Within the criteria for concept design, you will find site analysis and vision, communities, health and well-being, trees, nature and composition. There is then a further requirement for the submission, additional information which may be required for specific sites, and this provides a vision for the site and for the development, constraints and opportunities, a site and context analysis including light and shadow analysis. All guides have example of good and poor practice. Here we see the opportunities for designing good boundaries to your design scheme, and also a reference to cars which are part of the streetscape and must be considered carefully. On the left we see examples of designing boundaries which have not been so successful. The upper images show you where boundary thresholds and spaces may be under-maintained and where litter can gather if they are not designed appropriately. In the below image, we see a further example in which space in front of a house has very little wall, but it's set back. It leaves a confused small grass zone that has no apparent purpose. These images are made explicitly clear. On the right, we have 2 examples near the images above in which cars forming part of the streetscape are not appropriately designed. In the above two images, this shows an image where drivers have parked on grassed areas. They might feel the need to leave sufficient space for cars. And given that their on-plot parking spaces are so narrow, this means they need to manoeuvre onto the street. In the below image, this is an appropriate design, an area known as Green Street, which shows drivers parking on designated areas, when the parking spaces have dropped curbs against the pedestrian path. And this is because of the use of tree zones and surface markings which indicate clearly where to park. All guides have a downloadable, easy-to-use appraisal tool that works with a traffic light system. Secondly, how to apply the design quality framework to your scheme. Find out which design guides apply to your scheme by checking the Design Quality Framework website, which is constantly updated. Go to www.dqfnottingham.org.uk. Check the submission requirements and ensure you send the correct information to planners at the right stage. For example, in the housing design process, consider the submission requirements. Here it will tell you what is required: a vision for the site, for development constraints and opportunities, a site and contextual analysis, including light and shadow analysis. Ensure you have complied with all the latest design criteria from all the guides that apply to your scheme. Ensure you have illustrated your proposals to show how you have complied with the design criteria in the relevant design guides. If you could not comply with a criterion due to technical constraints, you have clearly explained why in your submission. If you have any doubts about interpreting a criterion, please do get in touch through the Design Quality Framework website. Once again, this is www.dqfnottingham.org.uk or email on www.dqfnottingham.org.uk/contact-1. Thirdly, how the City Council appraises design quality. Officers from all departments use the Design Quality Framework guides and their appraisal tools to assess the quality of design. Schemes that go through pre-application normally receive additional support from officers from various backgrounds. This begins with the applicant, who starts the pre-application process by submitting a pre-application consultation. This is received by the registration team. If all information has been submitted correctly, the scheme will be registered, payment will be taken, it will be submitted to an assigned case officer. The case officer will complete an initial appraisal and take the scheme to the design issues team. The design issues team always comprises a case officer, planning officer, urban design officer, and highways engineer. Also, when necessary, this will include a tree protection officer, conservation officer, GIS or 3D illustrator, adoption officer, maintenance team, planning policy team, housing strategy team, property team, regeneration team, and other specialists. A technical design team makes recommendations to the planning committee to inform decision taking. This includes a site visit when required. Thank you very much for watching. More information and training is available at www.dqfnottingham.org.uk.